Hey guys, so I'm actually working on a bit of a longer video, and it's basically going to be what the sequel trilogy tried to do and what we actually got. I hope y'all do enjoy that. As I said, I'm sure there's tons of people that's already talked about this, but I'm hoping that maybe I can give a little information that the bigger YouTube channels aren't talking about. So, I've already said my mentions about the Rise of Skywalker D23 reveal, and then the poster and the dark side ray. If y'all haven't seen those, definitely check them out. But today I want to do a quick little video about Palpatine and what he really means in all of this. So for many of us, we know Palpatine was the big baddie throughout the prequels and the original trilogy, though he didn't really come into the big screen until really Return of the Jedi. You know, that's when we actually got to see him physically. But as we know through the prequels, he was working in the background, and he even caused the galaxy to go into a state of war just so he can fulfill his plans. So, you know, Palpatine, oh yeah, he's definitely an all-time favorite villain. But what I want to say is with the sequel trilogy, bringing him in with the sequel trilogy right now, I understand there's a lot of people right now, some good people, some good YouTubers that are really excited to see Palpatine's return. Like, oh my god, this is great, we get Palpatine. I mean, the shill media is on full swing with this. But honestly, I view Palpatine's return as lazy. Like, incredibly lazy. And what I mean by that is, throughout the other two sequel trilogy movies, we have had no mentions of Palpatine, no scheming of Palpatine, no, like, talking of Palpatine. It's just Palpatine was dead, gone. I mean, that was it. I mean, when you have Snoke and other people talking about, you know, Snoke basically, he even said in the movie, you know, he took over the Empire, you know, he took over the ashes of the Empire, you know, he took the remainders of the Empire and made it the First Order, you know, that was all Snoke. And, you know, personally, I was down for that. Like, okay, the Empire's fallen, the Emperor's dead, Vader's dead, what's the Empire gonna do? Well, Snoke came in and manipulated all of them and said, okay, we're the First Order now, you work for me. That in itself wasn't a bad idea, okay, the next big baddie to come in. Because for those who've seen the EU, you know, who's read the books and all that fun stuff, the Sith returns. You know, I know it was the lost tribe of the Sith. You know, they were Sith that got marooned on a planet, like, for centuries, and over time they just built up a strength that when the time they were discovered and returned to the galaxy, it led out to an all-out war to where even they launched an attack on the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, of which the Sword of the Jedi, or, Jaina Solo, well, she stood her ground with her Uncle Luke. Anyway, and we also know in the Dark Horse comics, the Emperor does return, you know. He had a contingency plan for death, he used the clones, and a lot of people are saying that, you know, well, this is how Palpatine's gonna come back, you know, he's gonna come back with the clones and such. But it's just, there's been no build-up. I mean, you gotta think, if Luke felt the Emperor returning, if Luke felt that the guy that turned his father and nearly killed him was truly still out there in the galaxy, you figured Luke would be doing something about it. Like, okay, I actually got to stop this guy because my father sacrificed himself to save me. The least I can do is try to defeat the Emperor once and for all. But Luke instead went to the island and became a hermit to die. And another thing is that I'm sitting there thinking about in an interview that Daisy Ridley and John Boyega talked about. They said they're so excited to fight the Emperor, and, you know, they can't wait to put him down properly. And it's just like, what does that even mean? Like, what does that even mean? I mean, how are you supposed to take down someone properly? It was throwing him down a hole where he kind of combusted into energy not good enough? I mean, what does that even mean? I mean, are they going to perform like some ancient Jedi ritual spell that's going to banish his soul into the Shadow Realm forever? I mean, you see where my problem is here. The other issues I have with the Palpatine return is it seems very out of place in the story. Now, they backed themselves up into a corner. I did a video about this a couple months ago, how they backed themselves up into a corner because no one's going to buy Kylo Ren as the big bad. That's just truth. No one is going to buy him as the next Darth Vader or the new Darth Vader. No one buys it because we've seen him lose twice. And he just kind of he feels like a lost puppy more than anything, honestly. And then Snoke, he had the potential, but we barely got to see anything of him really, and he died. Like, okay, with no one going to accept Kylo Ren as the big bad, and the big bad Snoke is dead, what do they do? Oh, hey, let's make it where the Emperor was all along in the background. And because even in the interview that they did with Daisy Ridley, she said, you know, it's all going to be explained. The Emperor was in the background the whole time. It's just all going to be explained. And honestly, that sounds like a lot of retconning. It truly, that's what I said about I feel like there's just going to be too much retconning and too much going on to really figure out what the hell is going on in the movie. Because since Palpatine has not been in the other two sequel movies, like, I believe J.J. Abrams started the sequel trilogy with the intent of Palpatine's gone, Palpatine's dead, there's nothing left of him. Sorry. And then, you know, Rian Johnson came in, killed Snoke because apparently he couldn't figure out a way to put him in the movie anymore. And, you know, he wanted to subvert our expectations. I mean, come on, dude. So JJ's back in it. Snoke was supposed to be this very powerful dark being. So Snoke could easily have cheated death. But instead we go back to Palpatine. Why is that? Because nostalgia. They're trying to get as much nostalgia points as they can, hopefully that a lot of those lifetime fans will come and spend their money. Now, will they? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's tons of people out there that will go, oh my god, Palpatine's returning. I gotta go see it now. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta go see it. Me, on the other hand, I really view it as lazy writing. Like, true lazy writing. Because if the whole movie is just going to be dedicated to the forces stopping Palpatine again, and then the other movie is going to be about the retconning on how to explain why Palpatine is the big baddie all along, you see where I'm going with here. It just seems extra fucking lazy. And, you know, one of the biggest issues with the sequel trilogy is Disney has not been really allowing a lot of universe buildup. And what I mean is, almost every book and every comic has been just so micromanaged by Disney because they wanted to keep everything such a big secret and, you know, behind closed doors, to where it really didn't allow for the creative freedom. There's a reason that the now Legends books and comics were so popular. There was a reason, because they took a premise and they built onto it, and they created a history after it. Now, was it a gaggled mess? Absolutely. Anyone who read the EU or Legends books will tell you, yeah, it was kind of a gaggled mess, but damn, was it a good gaggled mess. But with the sequel trilogy, we don't get any of that world building. We haven't received anything of it. They're trying with this Age of Resistance, and they're doing the Rise of Kylo Ren and everything else, but honestly, those are books that we should have gotten after The Force Awakens. But now, we're in a place where Palpatine, apparently, he's been in the sidelines, building a massive armada, and building this and building that, and he's been the big bad all along, that secretly he was just using the First Order and Snoke to fulfill his plans and destroy the Republic once again. It's just lazy. I honestly don't know what else I can say about it. It kind of shows you that with the sequel trilogy, they really didn't have a major plan. It was just, let's throw a bunch of ideas together and let's just go with it. Oh no, our ideas failed. Well, now we gotta revert back to Palpatine. Because when you watch the D3 footage, folks, it's just the original trilogy. And I get a strong feeling that this time we're just going to receive a lot of, like, Return of the Jedi type feels. And honestly, with those Star Destroyers, they may not be manned. I just have that theory. You know, maybe those Star Destroyers, they're not manned. You know, because maybe the crews died off, or maybe the ships were there meant to be manned, but they just never did. I don't know. But anyway, what are your thoughts? How do you feel about Palpatine coming back? I mean, do you think, like, this is just a brilliant scheme that apparently we're all too stupid to understand? Ryan Johnson. Or is this just truly lazy writing because, you know, like me, you feel that they just wrote themselves up into a corner, so now they're legit going nuclear and bringing back Palpatine because, you know, all the new stuff failed. Anyway, please feel free to comment. You know, let's have a good discussion as I hit a pothole and hit gravel road. Bye, guys.